Welcome to Rainbow Soul Vodcast, where our Soulstrology comes forward to help you manage your everyday life, with forecasts and deep dives on natal charts and queer perspectives on the planets, transits, and more. A group discussion about upcoming transits with tips on how to read these transits in your own chart. Hollis offers years of wisdom and natal chart knowledge with Bright Hawk's positive perspective and LeKross's inquiry. We offer the complete queer astrology experience. Welcome to Rainbow Soul. Please help us by subscribing, sharing, and commenting and reviewing. You can also learn where else Rainbow Soul is offered on our website at RainbowSoul.show.
Welcome to Rainbow Soul Soulstrology forecast. My name is Hollis Taylor, and I'm one of your astrologers today. I hope to help interpret some of the planets and stars and the movements that's happening in the sky. If you want your birth chart or natal chart or death chart or many other things, I even have an astrology masterclass that I just released on my website that you can download, and it comes with not only 5 classes that Bright Hawk and I have taught together, it comes with cheat sheets and PDFs that we use during the classes, and then it also comes with 2 coaching sessions to come in and ask me questions so I can help you figure it out. And I will assure you that by the end of it, you will know how to read your own chart. So that's available now for download on my website, and you can get a link to my website below in the description.
And I love Hollis is a great teacher in addition to a great reader. It's really fun to learn more about astrology, learn more about yourself, how you relate to the world, how the world relates to you. It's just fascinating. And that course is really fun and very accessible. Hi there, I'm Bright Hawk, if I forgot to say that. And you can always learn more about me at brighthawkproductions.com. I'm an author of The Dancing Hippo. I'm an artist. I have an Etsy store you can see at my website, and musician and storyteller. So always a pleasure to be here and support the meditations and moon report. And now...
Hi, I'm LeKross Ortiz. I'm the creator of the Fool's Journey Color Journal. Also, we'll be launching this week We Are Semi, which is reclaiming the sacred rainbow within the LGBTQIA2S plus community. So it's going to be a podcast, one that I'm starting. It's launching this week on how to reclaim the sacred rainbow. And all different walks of life and medicine are going to be talked about on that podcast. So keep an ear out for it. As soon as I get the link, I will send it to you. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for the moment.
All right. So. Fantastic. Well, I'm glad we're all here. And I'm going to invite everyone to take a moment to take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath and blow out all the air that is within you, and just allow the stress to melt off of your body. And as you come into your body, you can imagine yourself outside under the night sky with beautiful stars and the moon just barely at a little crescent. And as you enjoy the beautiful stars in the sky above you, one planet deep within the universe reaches out to you. And this planet comes more and more into your view. And this planet is Pluto. And Pluto, you can feel the essence of Pluto deep. And fearful. It brings upon a feeling of fear, reminding you that you are immortal. You are just a human being on planet Earth, a sacred being. And Pluto's essence feels really deep, deep within your core, your instinct. It reminds you and shows you pictures of times that you've tried to control things, or how power plays out in your life. Pluto reminds you that all of those feelings, fear and power and control, are catalysts. When you awaken to them, they are catalysts for you to change. And Pluto reminds you of change. And it stops in the sky in front of you and begins to go backwards. Helping you to reflect on what in your life needs to change. What is different? What must change? What can no longer be? How will you change this? What is your goal? What is your intention? Ultimately, Pluto wants you to be empowered, strong, resilient, and in your own power. Building your resilience so that you're strong, so that you can handle anything. So that your reactions to negativity are lessened, creating a stronger soul, a resilient soul. So Pluto is asking you, what would make you stronger? What will empower you? And as Pluto stays spinning backwards, it returns up into the sky, putting itself deeply, deeply lost in the universe, far, far away from Earth, deeply intense, but reminding you that you are trusted with this life and that you are healing and that you can heal anything. And as you come back into the center, in your center, you can feel your feet on the floor. take a deep breath. Feel your seat under your bottom. And come back into your body. Open your eyes. Stretch your hands and your feet. And come back to your center in the here and now. Well done, Bright Hawk. Well done.
Thank you. Likewise.
Oh my. So, my friends, your Pluto retrograde has begun. In case you didn't notice. I'm going to get to the report here. That's pretty much what happened last week. It probably dominated your week, along with Venus in a square to Pluto. Which is going to make you review your finances and your money. If there's something that needs to change in relation to that, or your resources, then hopefully you'll address that right away. Pluto is best because Pluto can create discourse and can sometimes stir things up in a way that doesn't feel really great. I suggest that if you feel a shift or a call or an intuition to do something, that you do it. During this time, don't hesitate, don't wait, don't procrastinate, get her done.
And then celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate that you did it.
Yeah.
Bite it off in small chunks and you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm notorious for biting off more than I can chew kind of thing. The more I've learned to chunk it up, get her done, and then celebrate.
Yeah.
And sometimes the way I get something done that I really don't want to get done is I imagine the celebration. And I connect to the feeling of it's already done, it's already complete. Feel that celebration, feel that feeling of you did it. Okay, now get it done.
That's an effective way.
Oh yeah, it's actually
Seeing it from the end.
Spiritually tried, true, and tested. I mean, it's the way you manifest. You see it as it's already complete.
Yeah. So I think you know, and Pluto's going to be retrograde for a while till like wintertime. Okay, for the pretty much the rest of the year. So it's a slow transit. I believe I felt it starting to go retrograde. I tend to feel things, especially Scorpio rising. So Scorpios out there, Scorpio risings, they're probably going to feel some intensity. Okay. And typically Scorpio moons, we tend to feel strongly about things anyway. And then Pluto is our ruling planet. So it's going to affect Scorpios intensely and probably also Tauruses, okay, because that's opposite. And so you'll feel it really intensely. You'll probably, you could have a variety of reactions. It will depend on where Pluto is in your chart. I definitely felt it, and I definitely can feel Uranus and Jupiter on my south node. So, you know, I found myself really struggling with my health and struggling with my mental health around that. So this past week, so I'm just going to say, do your best, stay breathing. I think it's okay sometimes if you get really upset to go be alone. For me anyway, it helps me kind of get my head on straight without having too many influences from around me. Like, because sometimes if you're crying or something, other people will try to come in and fix it and make it better. And sometimes for me, it's like, I just need to get away from everyone. And I did. I walked out of a yoga class and went and bawled my eyes out, and then I felt better. And then I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I knew, and I could get clear on exactly what was going on for me. But if I stay with other people's influences, I'll be influenced by what they think. And then I'll get confused about my own feelings. So, so that's my suggestion. And so some people say, that being isolated when you're upset is like a trauma response or something. And maybe, but it's not like I hid it. Wasn't like I didn't tell Brighthawk that I had an experience. It wasn't like I didn't tell anyone. I just needed to be alone in my own energy so I could get in touch with my own feelings. And I think that that's perfectly reasonable response, especially if you're Scorpio, because you feel really deeply and you don't know why you're feeling so intensely. Okay. And so, or if you happen to have Pluto on a very sensitive spot like your moon or your south node or something like that. Okay. So you should definitely look. Pluto is in Aquarius at like 2 degrees. And so we'll take a look at that here. You can see Pluto on the right hand side at 2 degrees Aquarius. And it turns red in this software when it's going backwards. So it began last week. And so, of course, it's going to be retrograde for the rest of the year. It's going to go all the way back into Capricorn. So if you have anything at like 28, 29 Capricorn or 1 or 2 degrees Aquarius, you're going to probably feel it. If you have anything in late degree Cancer, like 28, 29 degrees Cancer, 1, 2 degrees Leo, 0 degrees Leo counts, you're going to feel it. It's going to be intense because Pluto is opposite. So, and oppositions aren't really easy to swallow. And then if you have strong placements also in, I guess that would be like Aries, okay, and Scorpio, okay, as I mentioned. So, Libra, sorry, like 29 degrees Libra, 1 degrees, I happen to have Uranus at 0 degrees Scorpio, okay? So you're going to feel it. And my Saturn is also opposite Pluto. So I've definitely had to walk lighter. Even this morning, there was something related to the work that I do in the world. And I had to pause because I wanted to trigger and get angry, right? Because I'm the person that's sort of in power or in control. And I had to sort of manage my own power and go lightly, research, review. So if you find yourself doing that, I encourage you to do that. Try to take extra breaths right now. Okay? Extra breaths. So if you have strong placements there, any major planets or, for me, Pluto's down on my IC. So, and your IC is at the bottom of the chart. It's opposite your MC. Okay, the MC is the arrow at the top. The IC is at the bottom there. And the IC is your most intimate parts. Okay? So, if you're a Scorpio rising, that's probably what's going on for you. If, if it's anywhere else in your chart, just pay attention to where it is. If it's in the house of relationships, then it's probably going to affect your relationships, okay? It's going to affect your shadow. It's going to affect your money, especially because it's in a square to Venus in Taurus. And as I've explained before, Venus in Taurus is very much about money, okay? And resources. So, to be honest, I think that's some of the biggest, energy going on right now. Other than the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that Jupiter is now passing Uranus, but it's still only 3 degrees away, so you've probably already felt it, started to experience it, and it will continue for a little bit longer, but it'll probably fade as you get more and more on your path, as you hear whatever Uranus and Jupiter had to say to you. Okay, and so I've definitely felt it. I'm so grateful I started to go to acupuncture because I clearly need it. And, acupuncture is interesting because it I was talking to the acupuncturist about this, is if you do have trauma in your body, stored in your body, and it's expressing as pain, I would strongly suggest you go to acupuncture, because a lot of times those traumas, you can't really get a hold of them, especially if they happened at a very young age. And so the traumas that I'm pretty sure I'm addressing happened when I was like 5 years old, so I barely remember them, but I know that they happened. And so when she hits certain spots that are related to trauma and these certain placements in my skin, and it's not like the needle really hurts. If you've never had acupuncture, it doesn't really hurt, but it releases something. It releases that tension in your body. And that's really what Uranus and Jupiter are trying to do. They're trying to release the trauma in your body. Of course, I bawled and cried for 30 minutes, but whatever. Crying is healing. So just going to say, these are the kinds of things that Uranus and Jupiter might be trying to get you on point with. So that's really the strongest thing. And then I see that Bright Hawk, that the moon is moving out of Aries on Monday.
Yeah, it's a really particularly long void of course moon. You know how we've been talking about the end of a sign when there's no longer, the moon is no longer in, has Ptolemaic aspects. There's a period we call the void of course moon. And you could sort of feel like it's literally you're getting ready to change houses, which means energies and temperaments. And the moon in Aries, of course, is going to answer to Mars, and which is kind of in its shadow back, behind it kind of thing. And so it's a little bit of a out of bounds sort of vibe. And this particular void of course moon is a really long one. It's a great deal of Monday from 1 a.m. Okay, most of us should be sleeping, but it goes all the way into 4:42 in the afternoon. I triple checked this because I was like, what? Really? Is that right?
So that's pretty much all of Tuesday.
All of Monday, May 6th.
Oh, okay. 1 a.m. So that's 1 a.m. Sunday, or 1 a.m. Monday.
1 a.m. on Monday, it goes void until it goes into Taurus, almost 5 o'clock Mountain Time.
Yeah.
And then it's a new moon in Taurus on the 7th, but you're a few degrees off on the 6th, which we call a dark moon. So of course, then the moon goes from fiery Aries into Taurus, which is earth and fixed, and the earth element is a totally different vibe. The moon in Taurus is exalted. It's likes being in Taurus. That's there's Taurus loves finery and good things and feeling good, and the moon is about feeling good in Taurus's house. So
I would say if you're going to plant some seeds,
this is a great spring planting.
Tuesday, good day.
Moon. Yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Conjunct Venus, and then of course it's going to eventually in the day after go across Jupiter Uranus, or Uranus Jupiter, I should say, in that order. So yeah, that's what we got going on.
Yeah, and it looks like it's just kind of going. I would say anytime Tuesday, maybe Monday night, if the timing works for you. But I would say Tuesday is a great day to plant seeds. I've been trying to plant via the moon. Not that I've been terribly successful or anything, so I'm just gonna say, okay, but I'm trying, okay, and but I would think with Venus there it might help, but I also noticed that there is a minor trine there, and that's sort of that small blue triangle there, and it's actually pointing at Neptune, which could be really good with Pluto retrograde, at least for the collective, because I think this might, because it's pointing at Neptune, which has a lot to do with like our fake news problem, and beliefs in things that don't make sense, illusions, delusions. And it's with Jupiter and Taurus, which is very earthy and grounded, but Pluto's going backwards, and it's also part of that minor trine. I'm thinking that just really easily, some people could be like, could awaken that whatever belief system they had about something is not true. So from the collective perspective of our, government problem that we're having, maybe some people might awaken to what the truth is. Because Pluto also rules the truth. And not always easy truths. Often the truth is hard. Okay, and Pluto is going backwards, so it's going to make people go, wait a minute, okay, and review what the truth is. I don't know how that plays out in someone's charts. I'd have to look, but Pluto retrograde, I'm imagining, will be hopefully people awakening to truths, and what the truth is. It could also have a little bit to do with peace. But I also think about the college thing that we're having right now with all the college protests, and so not that I think those colleges have truth in them, and so with Uranus and Jupiter there, that's going to rule those protests. Uranus and Pluto is in Aquarius, which is the ruler of Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, so they're going to also, Uranus is going to become part of that minor trine. So I'm hoping that it will maybe help with that and help bring some truths forward, and it's a potential for that.
Yeah, because you have a lot of, we should probably explain a little bit, sextiles and trines. Trines are considered such blessed energy. Things are going so much your way, you don't even notice that it's special. You're just like, life's a dream, which is great, but it means you can take things for granted with trines. But trines are blessings. Sextiles are also blessings. Some people say sextiles are more productive than trines because it's a slightly different energy, and the combination is productive and positive. As opposed to when we talk about squares, squares are challenges, but they're sometimes challenges that you need to get something going. So it doesn't always have to be a hard thing, but a square can be a challenge, and challenge can equal opportunity, an opportunity to do something, check in on something, change, whatever. It's just not necessarily equal the comfortable, like trines are super comfortable, right? So oppositions are, whoa, totally opposite. It's not a blending. It's this or that. And that's what can make an opposition so challenging. It's just so opposite of it's opposition. It's exactly what its root word sounds like. So this chart has a lot of sextiles and trines and definitely a fair number of conjunctions. We've been talking about them all month. But overall, the minor trine to Pluto, the sextiles between Saturn and the crowd in the stellium in Taurus. Stellium means 3 or more planets in one sign, which right now includes Jupiter, Uranus, the Sun, the Moon, Venus, all 5. lot of energy. When you have that much, you sometimes want to look opposite Taurus. What's opposite Taurus is Scorpio. And so that's also where we've been spending a little bit of conversation of saying, well, when you have one, that much energy is going to go across. And so it can have there's like a wake or they touch each other, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So this moon, obviously the sun and Venus have been conjunct, and the moon and Venus were conjunct. Obviously a new moon means conjunct moon sun. Now it's going to go over Uranus and Jupiter, and almost all month the sun has been in this square to Pluto, and now the moon will be in that square.
I see. Okay. And then
And like that's the only square in the whole chart.
yeah, and I feel like this trine, I was just thinking, well, how long will this trine last? Probably most of the week, this minor trine.
Yeah,
and
those big players, those big outside
yeah, with
players.
big players like that, with Jupiter and Uranus and Pluto and Neptune. And Neptune's a lot about illusions, delusions. It's also about spiritual thinking, higher thinking. It can sometimes be about visions, like your vision for things. And, you know, with Pluto being about resilience and transformation and change, and Pluto asking for change, you know, hopefully the protest will be heard. That's really what I'm hoping for, is that the protest, and that looks like it's going to continue into Wednesday, and looks like the moon is moving out of Taurus there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it goes void.
So the moon goes void, of course, on Wednesday evening again. And this time it's like that more typical hour and a half kind of thing. It's 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6:20 to 6:20 p.m., just for your time frame. That's like more typical. So that what we saw on Monday is like, wow. So I would check your Monday schedule and be mindful of when the moon is void. It means that there's not a lot of energy, which can be great if you're dealing with something where say you have to have a tough conversation and you don't want to deal with a lot of drama. You can use the void of course moon to help you deal with that. It's not a great time to be trying to, go get them, be Mars-like, and initiating action. It's like trying to put your boat out to sea when the tide's coming in. It's just going to keep landing on the beach, right? So there's a time for everything, and it's really kind of fun to see how these void of course moons work. I'd love to hear from you if you've done anything where you've made it sort of work for you, if you will, by awareness. And yeah, so Wednesday evening, a couple hours to chill. A great thing to do during the void of course time is to do self-care, meditate, do yoga, exercise, take a walk, and just whatever self-care means to you.
And Mercury is direct at this point, so hopefully you've handled whatever needed to be handled. And someone commented a story. I'm trying to remember their story well. And essentially how their Mercury retrograde worked out for them, because before or at the beginning of Mercury retrograde, or right before, I'm not sure, they wrote like a message to themselves, okay? And then they went through Mercury retrograde and they were having a hard moment. And then they went back and read that sort of note in their journal to themselves, and it really helped them. And that's really Mercury retrograde. And you know what? Pluto retrograde is very similar. It's just a longer transit, where Mercury retrograde is a little easier to see because it's only like 6 weeks. Pluto is going to be like a whole year, right? Okay, most of the year. So Pluto is just now going backwards. So pay attention to what's being asked for you to change right now, because frankly, if you got to change it, doing it this week is a good time because of the trines. Don't wait or procrastinate it, because it will just be harder the longer you wait. If you know something has to change it now, because Jupiter and Uranus are supporting you. Neptune is supporting your vision, because Neptune is direct in its ruling sign, Pisces. So its vision is going to support you right now. And Pluto is just reviewing, saying, you do need to change that. I know it's going to be hard, but get your ass moving. Okay. And that's pretty much what Pluto is doing. And, you know, so I would listen to it. I would do that change now. Okay. Do that change now. This week.
Yeah, we always talk about how astrology can help us reveal our purpose. So one of the things that's powerful in that conjunction, and it's still only 7 degrees apart. So it's at the very end of its conjunction, Mars and Neptune. So you have Mars in its home sign in a powerful place, Aries, and Neptune in its home sign in its powerhouse in Pisces. So those two having a conversation about what are your dreams and what do you want to do about it is a very, very positive thing, because then you look at it and you go across and you see it's sextile in Jupiter, Uranus. It's like, wow, this is, you could really, things could happen in a really good way if you are focusing on how you want to make changes in your life. So real big blessings there if you work it.
Yeah. Grab hold of it. And, so hopefully we'll have some changes with the fighting that we have currently going on in our world.
May there be less fighting and more peace.
May they figure out that now is the time to change. I wish they all had astrologers. I know some of them do, but not all of them. Boy, if they did.
I just realized, and Venus is in Taurus, which is in its rulership.
Yeah.
So you have 3 signs. This doesn't happen all the time.
No.
3
you have
signs
some strong...
in its rulership.
Yep.
That's pretty potent.
Right. So, so really, things are getting easier for you. The change is going to be easier right now. There's going to be some ease in changing this week. So embrace that blessing, embrace the support of the planets in your change. And that really would be really important. I was just wondering if, where Pluto is in its exaltation. Okay. It's exalted in Pisces. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, so 20 years from now it'll be there. And so it's that energy is going to continue. We still don't have a whole lot of hard things. I mean, the moon is squaring Saturn, but that's only going to last a little while on Thursday. And at the same time, it's trining your South Node. So it's trying to help you get rid of shit that you're not supposed to have, right?
Yeah. And the Gemini moon is going to answer to Mercury. So Mercury, I think about communication and what did you just say about stuff? Deal with your stuff?
Yeah, it's good. Well, not just stuff like physical stuff, but like the South Node in Libra down there is letting go of things that don't belong anymore. The South Node is the anus. It's where the shit comes out, yeah?
So what I'm hearing is it could be a good day for spring cleaning.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Gemini moon. Gemini is really...
it could also be about ending relationships with people that you don't want to, that you need to end. Where you're like, I've needed to end this for a really long time. Now is the time. Thursday would be a good day.
Yeah.
To do that.
So Gemini, remember, is air, and air is all about thinking. How do you think about it? And Gemini can think in more than one way. Well, I can think about it this way, or I could think about it that way. And so there's sometimes that makes Gemini a great negotiator or a diplomat, because they can see both sides. They can help people hear each other. They can be a great party host. They can make sure everybody grooves together. With the sextile to Mars, which is very positive, of course. And so yeah, we're in that Gemini moon phase where you might think about things differently.
Yeah, it might just, and things might just kind of flow together really quickly for you, which is great.
And I want to say with the Gemini moon, do you think and then feel, or you feel and then think? Up to you. There's no right or wrong, but it's an interesting thing to realize. Wait a minute, do I think about things and then I feel? Or do I feel things and then I think about them?
That happens to me. I feel things and then I'm like, what is happening right now? Why am I feeling this way? And that's why I don't like other people around me, because then they're thinking too about why I'm crying or why I'm upset. And I'm like, no. We only need one thinker here, okay? So, so with this great little minor trine there, it looks like it's
On
going to be there
Friday.
most of the weekend. This is Friday. It's still doing pretty good. I mean, you know, you're still going to have that same energy of transformation, of finding your way on your path, what needs to change, and addressing those changes. Especially in relation to your vision for your life. And I just want to say that, like, just because in my coaching courses sometimes people are not aware, but typically whatever vision you have is valid. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So don't gaslight yourself. Like, sometimes people are like, well, I have this vision of being an entrepreneur, but I don't think I can do it. You're gaslighting yourself. You can do it, and you're supposed to do it, and you're gaslighting yourself. So just like me, when years ago, I used to think, oh, I'll never be able to travel the world. I'll probably never leave this country. I'll be lucky to get to see the country. I've seen the entire country now via RV. I've been to Costa Rica, and this year I'm going to the UK. Okay? So, like, whatever that crazy belief system you have is, make sure that you're not gaslighting yourself about it, okay? Because your vision for yourself is accurate. It's accurate, and I can probably, if you sat down with you and looked at your chart, I could probably show you where it is. Okay? But you have to believe in yourself. You won't get it done if you don't believe in yourself. If you're gaslighting yourself, you won't get it done. Just like if someone else was gaslighting you. Doesn't matter. And I had people gaslight me in my family. Like, my whole family would gaslight me and be like, oh, you couldn't handle the jungle. It's too hot. Okay? They said to me that I'll never leave this country and I'll never travel around. And why do you want to travel around on a bus and around the country in an RV? Shut up. Like that. I'm serious. Okay? And I did it. So don't listen to gaslighting, whether you're doing it yourself or someone else's. Either way, your vision is accurate and valid, especially right now with Neptune in its rulership. If you can see yourself doing it, it is a potential for you, and all you have to do is believe in yourself and take action towards that.
Yeah, vital. Very important. Very, very important.
Yeah.
The world is ready for you to be fully you. To step up into your beautiful purpose and deliver to the world the gifts only you can deliver. That's the amazing thing about life, isn't it? Everyone's astrology chart, every single one of us is unique. And those charts often speak to our purpose and where we can make a difference, how we can make a difference, what we are gifted with to make a difference. So it really helps to know your chart, know your map. So the Gemini moon will go void of course on Friday evening, 8:50 p.m. on Mountain Time, for just a little more than an hour and almost an hour and a half to 10:13 p.m. And when the moon moves out of Gemini, it moves into Cancer. So when the moon comes home to Cancer, it's feels good to be home. Kick off your shoes, see what's in the fridge, how are things going, check in with whoever you want to check in with. So the moon is obviously very happy to be home, and it's a little bit of a challenging square to Saturn.
Maybe you want to relax instead of doing some work you have to do.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying at the very beginning. Probably this is why, right?
Yeah.
Connect with the feeling of it's already done and the celebration of it just feels so good to have that done.
Right.
Connect to that feeling and then do it. Just
Then
get
just
it done
get her done.
and then feel that good feeling. So that's I'm willing to bet you're right on that one.
Trying to teach my
And
7-year-old grandchild that.
and he called and told Gran how proud he was of himself to have cleaned his room, which
And
took
to
a
start
minor
earning
miracle.
his electronics back, which I just thought was hilarious. And he is very cute. And I just said, doesn't it feel good to be doing the right thing rather than getting in trouble with your parents? And he was like, yeah, it does. And I'm like, right. So maybe next time, maybe not being such a stubborn fool.
He's like 7.
He's a
8,
Capricorn, so he's a
7,
little on the
8.
stubborn side. So, you know.
But since Capricorn loves rules, we encouraged him to write down what he knew the rules to be and what were the consequences.
And my son said that he wrote, I didn't clean my room means I lose my electronics. And so when my son called him on the fact that he didn't clean his room, he started crying and saying, I'm going to lose my electronics. And I was like, oh my gosh. My son was like, oh my goodness. So you can imagine how hilarious that would be. But that's the power of astrology. If you know your kids' astrology, you can play to what's going to help them. And he's mostly a really kind and compassionate, and he likes to hear positive reinforcement. So, because he's a Virgo rising and he has a Leo moon. And so the more I say, good job and you're amazing and doesn't this feel good, that's going to appeal to his Leo moon. And so, yeah, so that's where we're doing it. And so I'm just trying to support my son in that. So, but knowing these things about yourself, even if you know you have certain placements, knowing that you can even encourage yourself, like, oh, good job. Like, for me, knowing I'm a Scorpio rising, I know that if another person is not as vulnerable as me, and I'll be vulnerable, but not hyper vulnerable. I'll be really vulnerable with someone. And if they're not able to return that same vulnerability, I don't want to be around them. I just don't even want to know them. So, because I don't feel like I can trust them. And that's a Scorpio rising thing. Okay, because we're deep, vulnerable people and we want other people to meet us in that vulnerability. So just knowing about these things about yourself will help you stop trying to fit yourself into some idea of what you're supposed to be by culture's definition. So Saturday, we still have that trine. We still have a beautiful trine going on. It doesn't look like the planets have moved a whole lot. Things are moving real slow. Mercury's finally starting to gain some speed here. So at this point, you're starting, because Mercury started off the week, I think, at like 22, 21, and now it's finally taken off, finally picking up some speed. It's been a sort of slow rev up. And as it comes out of its shadow, you'll start to feel like, okay, I think I got this. I think I took care of everything that I procrastinated. And now I'm taking care of all these things now. And that's great. That's what you need to do. You just need to sort of tie up any loose ends. And that's the greatest part of the end of Mercury retrograde. I think it's the most satisfying, in my opinion. Maybe because I'm a Mercury ruling. My sun is in Virgo, so it's ruled by Mercury. I don't know.
Could have something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think most people experience that tying up loose ends at the end of a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, I think it's a very, it can be productive and satisfying for sure.
Mm-hmm. So as we move with the Cancer moon on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the one little bit of a challenge. It's in a square to Mars and Neptune. But again, squares can be a conversation. How do you feel about your dreams and vision, and what action are you taking to make your dreams and visions come true? And if there's frustrations, Instead of being frustrated, what is the frustration trying to tell you? So, yeah, like I said, it could be a good spring cleaning weekend.
Especially with Moon in Cancer. It's a great time to clean things out because Cancer is all about the home. It rules your home. And also you can look and see what house it's in. That will also affect your life in that area. And with the Moon there, it's going to bring in like intuition and feelings and even vibrations, I think. So like, and I think like when you clean your house, spring cleaning, isn't that like kind of raising the vibration of your house? You start to feel like, yeah, it feels so much better,
Yeah.
By the time you're done, you feel like your house is fresh or something, right? Buy some flowers and stick them on the table too, okay? So I just feel like with this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, with that grand trine going on, then there's another trine, not a grand trine, sorry, minor trine. Another minor trine will show up on Sunday, which will really bring in the blessings of change, really make those changes come into ease, those changes that need to happen. And you want to address those changes now. It's really important that you do it now during this week, especially by the weekend, because all the energy is there to support you in these changes. So don't procrastinate it. Just change it now, even if it feels a little hard.
Yeah, the rewards will come from that.
It will happen faster.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a little bit of a T-square with the Moon, so that tells me it could be a little bit of a challenge about it, but just do it now, and that will get better for you.
Right.
All right. So, if my computer will let me have control of it again. All right. So, LeKross, did you have anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, we're still in beaver season, and that's so it's so fitting when we're talking about our homes and things like that, because beavers are known for modifying their homes. They're known for modifying the dams, and a lot of people think that the dams are just like mud and twigs and trees, but they use stones, and they'll literally push stones
Holy
to
cow.
start creating that. But in doing that, I think this is the neat thing. In doing that, they actually start creating a new habitat for other fish, like almost creating a whole ecosystem. And when we think of spring cleaning and getting rid of things, we're creating, sorry, a new habitat for ourselves. We're creating a new place. And even something simple as just moving the furniture around or just getting rid of things, it's to create growth. And I thought that's really cool because like I think everybody at this point is like really crazy trying to do spring cleaning and let's get rid of this, get rid of it. But it's not just get rid of it, it's opening the door for something new to bring into your home. So I thought that was pretty cool because that's pretty much what the beaver's doing at this point. And I see that in the astrology, how it's more about like cleaning out, getting rid of the old, embracing the new, and making the changes, and it'll be for the better. So I thought that was really cool.
Cool. That's great. Yeah, like when I think of beavers, that's the first thing I think of is home,
Yeah.
In some ways, most of our homes are just made out of sticks and mud, frankly.
And rock, little
Right?
rocks.
Yeah. All
Can't
right.
help but think of nature's little engineer.
And frankly,
Yeah.
have you ever been in like one of those houses that are built with mud, that are like made with earth, like a earth house, an earth ship? Have you ever been in one of those?
I've been in bohíos, which are just made out of like they're trees, but it's more indigenous. But I've never been in a mud home.
Oh, next time you get an Airbnb or something, go do it and tell me how you feel energetically, because energetically you're like, I feel like I'm like in Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Like you're like in Mother Earth. It's even more so than like a log cabin, which is usually made with a bunch of dead trees.
Right.
Or sometimes I haven't been in like a really good tree house yet. And I was thinking Brighthawk and I might, there's one not too far from here. Maybe we can stay in it for a couple nights. But tree houses are like way up. And so anyway, but like just in the earth houses that we have stayed in, every time I stay in one, I'm like, I like this. I could live in one of
Very
these forever.
Yeah.
My little hobbit.
Yeah.
I've been in a treehouse that was in Waipio Valley. It was amazing. But
And
boy, if you are not comfortable with heights and lots and lots and lots of air, and they had built canopies. And the amazing thing about this treehouse, which is just enormous, was that it was built with no screws. Everything's
with,
tongue and groove, no screws, no
oh,
metal, no, but everything's fastened in there really, really well. But it's done with wood, with ropes and tongue and groove, and it was amazing. And they had
wow.
built a really large net um, canopy where you could walk out on it, and like a catamaran, kind of thing, where you can just look out and look down and stuff.
Wow.
So if you're not comfortable with big air and height, you wouldn't be comfortable in this treehouse. But
I'm
it
good with
was
big air. It's the height.
phenomenal. With the view of Waipio Valley on Oahu, that was just,
Wow.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
beautiful. And the birds and the flowers, especially
You
up
probably
there.
like an earth house though, LeKross. I think you
Oh,
would
yeah.
like. Yeah, you would like
I
it.
think I
'Cause
definitely would.
and when you touch the like wall, you're like, yeah, it's just dried mud, and it's interesting. It's interesting. All right, so
What
I'm
are
gonna
the
pull. I'm
cards?
gonna pull 3 cards for you. Let's see here. Let's pin it up so you can see. So the first card here is a reminder of who you are authentically. That authentically you are perfect just the way you are. This is a very authentic Queen of Cups. She is perfect just the way she is and what she's feeling, thinking, visioning, and expressing within herself is perfect just the way it is. It was meant to be that way. And you can see that the more authentic she is, the more the ocean is serving her cups of tea or coffee, and even the bird of spirit is delivering messages there at the top of the queen's mind, delivering messages, and the queen is completely in their authenticity. And I think that's what's important here, is being in your authenticity. And this is a reminder of who you are, authentically of who you are at your soul. And the Page of Swords is in the present, is in the here and now. And this is very much about taking action with those thoughts. So just like the astrology said, you got your vision, get it done. Take action towards that vision this week. And that's really what this is about. This is about having those thoughts and then bringing those actions forward. The swords always are about thoughts mostly, especially about action-oriented thoughts. And you can see here that this person has a sword in their hand and they're taking action, and something is happening. You can't quite see exactly what is happening, but there is definitely something happening. And so that's exactly what this card is meant to say, is that if you take the action, it will happen. And if you take that action and move forward, look at this. You got the King of Swords, which means you will have proper thought. You will be in your authentic self. You will be expressing at the highest, at your highest. This is a really great card. This is really about, about being at the top of your game, and about bringing forth exactly what's supposed to be brought forth. Even if you are an amateur at whatever you're doing, this is really about following through. And if you follow through, this is like the King of Swords. This is very much about doing it, getting it done, and expressing it to the world. And if you look around, of course, they have a stained glass window around them, which really, for this, is very, and masculine energy, so it's a king, right? And so when we think about that, we think about not that you have to be a guy or something, but that instead it's actually more about taking action. That not that feminine energy doesn't take action, because it absolutely does, but it's usually in a different fashion. And masculine energy is very forthright and steps. It's assertive. That's a good word. And so this is more about assertive energy, and you can see that they have like a little shell sort of on their chair, on their throne behind them. And I really think that that's because they're pulling from the messages of the feminine. because the best assertive energy pulls from a more connection to the earth and to effeminate feelings. And in fact, that brings us back to the first card, which is your authentic self, right? Okay, so that's very much about a seashell, right? Like you're like, I'm sure there's a seashell in that image somewhere, Hollis, right? Okay, with the Queen of Cups, and they're standing on this rock, and of course you take the action you need to take, and that action that you take will make movement, it will change things, it will bring your vision forward, and in that your vision will manifest into a good thing, especially with this with the shell there on their shoulder, speaking and bringing, you know, like if you ever put a shell to your ear, you can hear the ocean, right? And I usually feel like the ocean is like washing away and bringing things forward as well, emotion, and helping you connect to the emotion of the earth. And so really that's exactly what this is about. So I hope
reading.
that makes sense for you, and may you hold it and take it forward for you, and I hope that this week is you're walking through this Pluto returns with assertiveness, with action, and knowing that you are quite capable, regardless of your gender or identity, that you are quite capable of taking action. All of us have that within us all of the time, and you do have it in there. You just might need to get in touch with it. So
thank you very much. We hope you have a fantastic week.
Yeah, make sure you comment. We love hearing your stories. So what happened to you with that Uranus Jupiter? Did you feel it? Did Uranus smack you over into your path? It sure did to me, boy. So share it with us. Comment. We'd love to see your comments.
All right, and thanks for watching Rainbow Soulstrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's Soulstrology and subscribing, liking, sharing, and reviewing. We hope you enjoy this dose of Soulstrology and encourage you to embrace the week ahead with an open mind and heart so that you may integrate the deepest of lessons from the stars. Take a moment to step outside and honor the planets, stars, and moon in the sky with your heart. Integrate the messages that resonate and leave the rest for someone else. We deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember that you are a perfectly unique human with an exclusive star map of your destiny, your soul purpose, and your heart's desire. Thank you again for tuning in to Rainbow Soul.